Hello, we just went through this Lugia deck I used to run. Now I'm going to check out this Poison Ivy, as I called it, Ivysaur deck I used to run. And I didn't run this very much, to be honest, because I quickly pretty much went into this when it started getting popular. One thing I forgot to mention in this previous video was, well, one thing I misnamed Good Manners as Erica's Invitation. But the other thing is a lot of my cards have two cards in the sleeves. And I went to check what that was, and it is actually just more energy cards. And that was to give myself an option that I could quickly swap out and rebalance the deck when I was at the local trading card league playing through if I wanted to rebalance. Obviously, it would have been a much better idea to not stuff two cards into one sleeve, but to just have some extra cards already in sleeves on the side. So let me go ahead and swap out our, stay right there, Ivysaur. Let me swap out our mythical birds and Slowking, the chief priest of Lugia, in exchange for somebody else to keep us company. Let's go for none other than the Bulbasaur and the man, the myth, the legend, the frog, the flower. Is it an animal? Is it a plant? I don't know. That's half the fun. Ivysaur, and of course, got to complete it with Venusaur. Now, Venusaur is not actually like the other die-cast toys I have here. Venusaur is a pencil topper. So that's going to be okay. That's all right. Some people, some frog plant hybrids are just pencil toppers, and we have to remember that that is okay. Now, I am going to be honest with you. I took a little peek at this deck before I started filming here, and it is going to be a little underwhelming, which is kind of good, to be honest, because the deck is a little bit, it feels a little bit dirty. So if I am going to have some cards that have a little bit too much dust and dirt on them, I would much rather it be an underwhelming set of cards rather than something really ridiculous and grand. So just as we're getting started out here, I pulled out some of the energy cards. We have a few trainer staples like Gust of Wind. Gust of Wind used to be a fun, dirty trick you can do to swap out the opponent's benched Pokemon of your choice with with their active Pokemon. And then, of course, Potion. That's a good one. Professor Oak. That is going to let us redraw the hand. Revive, another great thing to do for Pokemon. Another card that I remember we had in the Lugia deck that we looked at a moment ago. Here it is, Super Scoop Up. This one was one of my favorites because essentially, especially in that Lugia deck I was running, Lugia has 90 hit points. That was a lot back in Gen 1, Gen 2. That was comparable to like 270 and above hit points these days, maybe closer to like 300 and above. Super Scoop Up means you can load up and take a lot of damage, and then you throw this down and you scoop up that entire Pokemon and everything attached to them back into your hand, and then it's a basic, so you can just, well, Lugia was a basic, so you could just throw it back down, start playing again, and it essentially becomes like a full revive. You just have to reload its energy, but again, it's right in your hand, ready to reload. So that's just a fun one that I forgot to mention in the earlier deck. I'll put a link to the earlier decks as well. And again, you know, we got the Ivysaur, the Venusaur, or actually, no, we don't. Spoiler alert, we do not have a Venusaur in this deck. But the Ivysaur can poison. Bulbasaur has a little leech seed that heals itself some damage. I also have Togepi. Luckily, the first edition one I have is a little bit less dirty and dusty feeling than the regular, so that's nice. I also had Ladybug going on. I think we have Redaba, Ladyen as well, pardon. And yeah, it's going for poison. Oh, sorry, this one isn't going for poison. What is this one? We have a potential confusion with Ladybug, and Lydian. We have some, we can move some energy around from the bench. So, well, that sounds like someone's at the door. So, I'll cut this one a little short. Again, it is really nothing but staples, a few special conditions I was rocking, and not terribly exciting. Probably the best thing in here is computer search. Rare card, discard 2 cards in your hand to search for anything that you'd like to find in your deck. Oh, I guess I had a Scyther in here. Well, that's exciting. So Scyther, computer search, We'll get some sleeves on these bad boys, and then we will check out some of the other great content. Sometimes when you're opening up those vintage boxes in your closet, you don't find it terribly much, just a couple of computer guys and a bug. So I told you it was going to be a little underwhelming, but keep an eye out, check out the links. There's a lot of other cool stuff.